Hello, everyone, and welcome to the recap of the 2026 Milan Winter Olympics. And what a series of games it has been. We'll take you to go over some of the highlights and emotional stories that have carried these games throughout the month of February. Starting off with men's ice hockey, Team USA has just been an absolute unit, taking down Canada. Jack Hughes scored the USA's golden goal to seal it since the Miracle on Ice in the 1980s. Team USA also honored someone who would have been an Olympian, Johnny Gaudreau, also known as Johnny Hockey, who would have been a member of this team had he not suffered a fatal car accident earlier last year. The team honored him by bringing his jersey onto the ice after the goal. Connor Hellebuck was an amazing member of this team. He delivered a masterclass performance against Team Canada, who had been blowing the doors off of every team, holding them to one goal and robbing them of several high-danger scoring chances. And what an amazing event it has been. Kacey, I know you wanted to talk more about figure skating. What has figure skating meant to you, these Olympics? What have you gathered from it?
So I grew up in the more artistic side of sports. I grew up in dance and gymnastics, so I always like watching figure skating. I love watching the Summer Olympics for the gymnastics portion of that. But figure skating, the U.S. has not always fared well, much like in the entirety of the Winter Olympic Games. More so countries like Russia, Norway, China, Japan normally take the top medal counts, but this year in Olympic figure skating, we had some standouts, like Alyssa Liu. She's 20 years old, I believe, and she's American, and she actually retired in 2022. She ended up getting sixth at the Olympics, and she decided, I think it's time for me to retire. I'm very burnt out, which is very common in athletes, especially in things like gymnastics and dance and figure skating. But she decided to come back in 2025, and she ended up winning the World Championships. She got the gold medal, the first American woman to do that in 20 years, which is so impressive. She also has a really unique look about her. When you think of figure skating, you think of very elegant, very dainty, which of course she is, but a lot of people have been talking about her hair, her costumes. She's just to really stand out in all aspects of her performance. Her routine ended up going viral, and she was just absolutely fantastic. She was definitely one to watch throughout the entire games. And then in regards to snowboarding, which I also like to watch, again, Americans have not always fared very well. Again, it's more so countries with a consistent cold climate that are able to take those top medal counts, but American Chloe Kim won silver in women's half pipe, which is absolutely phenomenal. And then Jake Cantor won bronze in slopestyle. So very good in terms of our medal count this year in all aspects of sport.
Now, taking it to the other side of the slopes, there was a new event in the Olympics named the ski mountaineering. Skiers would climb mountains with alpine skis, holding on to skis. After climbing the mountain, skiers descend down the steep mountain, and alpine skis with a free heel would be used uphill and fixed downhill. France won gold in the mixed relay, won silver in women's sprint, and won a bronze medal in the men's sprint. Switzerland won 1 gold in women's sprint and 1 silver in the mixed relay. Spain won 1 gold in the men's sprint and 2 bronze in women's sprint and mixed relay. Now in indoors, curling, there was some controversy against Canada and Sweden, where curling stones are used to glide across bumpy ice and brushes are used to manipulate the ice and slightly melt it to help stones glide towards the house. Now, in the game with Canada and Sweden, there was a controversy where there was alleged touching of the stone, where Oscar Eriksson accused Mark Kennedy of Canada for touching the stone. There was a heated argument, and in the end, Canada ended up taking home the gold in a twisted turn of events.
Yeah, now before I bridge the conversation between you two, I would like to just shout out women's hockey, who had an absolute outstanding performance in the Winter Olympics, outscoring opponents 32-2. Arlen Frankel of the PWHL's Boston Fleet turned into a brick wall during the Olympics, only allowing in 2 goals. There's a reason why her nickname in the PWHL is the Green Monster, because she is just a monster in the net. And I just kind of want to bridge the gap now between you two. The USA finished second in total medals, holding about, I think, 12, while Norway won with 18. And it goes to speak volumes that the women's side of Team America, they had 8 total of our medals. And it just goes to show that these women who prepared their whole lives for this moment. They showed out. They had an incredible performance, being the backbone of Team USA, and I just want to shout them out. Do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think it was incredible what the women did and represented our country really well.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching Season 8, Episode 1 of Head and Sports Night. We will be back in 2 weeks for Episode 2. We all hope you have a good night and stay warm out there.